Now, I bet you've never seen a case such as this one, unless you've seen the actual Cougar OmnyX case, which comes with quad 160mm fans, two on front, two at the rear, or is it two at the rear? It's just insane how it's designed, and I'm gonna stick to that because when we go through the case, you'll understand why I'm thinking like this. So what we have right here is the OmnyX case, which has a completely reverse design. When we're talking about motherboard placement, the GPU can be naturally vertical and, let's say, upright vertical or something like that, or downright vertical, because the GPU stand can be rotated, but you do have to flip the case and then untie the screws, rotate the PCI expansion slots, and then you get the possibility to have the GPU with fans here on front. Will that impact the thermals? It might, because it's quite close to the tempered glass, but then again you have two 160 blowing cold air inside. The 360 radiator at the top is an exhaust, and these ones are also exhaust. At first they got me confused because they looked pretty similar, but yeah, that is intake, this is exhaust, and that is exhaust as well. Now, when you take into consideration everything, when we're talking about the panels, they are quite easy to remove. And I'm not saying only these ones, I'm saying these ones as well. And they are magnetically attached, quite easy to fixate and quite easy to place back. That goes the same thing on that side, that goes the same thing here at the back, because this covers the cables here at the back, and I'm doing it quite easily without any problems. When you release the side panels, and the bottom panels aren't that necessary to remove at this point, but when you remove these two side panels, then you get the access to remove the front tempered glass and then the top tempered glass. If you want to access the back side, you have to remove the panel that hides all the cable management, and then you get the access to pull out the back side panel. Now I'm gonna quickly go through the front, and then I'm gonna switch to the back, because the front is quite interesting. Now, check this out. If you want, for instance, this case is ideal to have it on the left, on the right side, or just plain front faced, let's put it this way. You can just simply rotate it, because the cables can go on any direction, and it's quite simple. And because of it, they designed this. So you remove this panel, and you take the I/O ports and you just slide them. As you can see, the computer is still working and there's literally no issues. And then you place this panel right back until it pops in, and that's it. Quite simple. I mean, I'm really digging the design. And the I/O panel is insane, because we have 4 USB 3.0 ports, type A, 2 USB type C. You have 3.5mm jack, which is 4-pole. Then you have the RGB light, because you have the controller at the back, and you have the power on button. So it's quite simple. Why did they go with so much USBs? The thing is, it's not that easy to access the motherboard, since motherboard is faced downwards with the I/O port, and you do have to remove the covers to access it from the bottom. So you do connect all the USB 3.0 and USB Type-C directly to the motherboard I/O panel, which gives you an option then to use these ones here. Of course, the regular cables, if you have wired mouse, wired keyboard, you're going to pre-connect them and basically never disconnect them ever again, so you won't have any issues with that. But this gives you an access to fast USBs, and basically an easy access than just going at the bottom each time. The same thing goes for the GPU, but then again, you connect your monitors once and you're done with it. Now, when we're talking about the top part for the 360 radiator, what you have over there is a cover that hides all the cables that are going from the AIO, from the motherboard, and everything similar to that, which is quite easy. Basically, you have one screw, you remove it, you get all the openings at the top, and do take into consideration when placing the 360, remove that cover, place it afterwards, you're good to go. Now here on the sides, what you can do, and this gives you quite a nice, let's say, visual aspect in terms of different possibilities. Now, front and rear, or rear and front, what you get is possibility to place two 120 or two 140 or these two 160 millimeter fans. The same thing goes for the radiator support, because what you can do here is 280, 240, 140, 120. At the top, you can go with three 120 millimeter fans or 360 or 240 radiator, which is quite cool. I mean, with this design, of course, there are some limitations, but then again, you can go with two 280 and you can go with 360 radiator if you're going with some crazy, insane custom loop. We have maximum number of fans is 7, quite logical when you take everything into consideration. RGB hub can sync with the motherboard, and you have the PWM hub and the RGB, so you connect everything to your motherboard and you can sync literally everything up, because actually this is synced up. And then we have maximum GPU length 380 millimeters, CPU cooler height 170 millimeters, and power supply when we go with the back is 200 millimeters. Now let me just go quickly with some other front ideas about this case. So as I said, you can place it on the left, right, facing forward. This gives you a quite nice possibility to actually reorganize your setup as you wish. You can flip this IO panel on left or right, because then again you have to place this cover, just have a meticulous look as they designed it. You can remove the front or rear panels. You can remove the back panel for the cable management. Everything is on clicks and pegs, so there's nothing too much to discuss. When we're talking about the backside, what you can do is you have two 2.5-inch SSD bay and two 3.5-inch hard drive bay. It is easily removable because it's on a thumb screw. You just untie it, you can place your hard drives, SSDs, and you're good to go. The same thing goes for the power supply. You do have to remove the bracket by untying the thumb screw and placing that directly on the power supply, and then you install your power supply inside the chassis. There is loads of space for cable management, but also I totally forgot when we were talking about the front side, you can use the back connect motherboards to have that flawless no cable look design. So with the addressable RGB hub, you have extra space for adding more addressable RGB or PWM fans if you desire to do so. For instance, you go with an air cooler, which would be strange in this type of case, but regardless. And you desire to place those three 120 and connect them directly to the RGB or PWM hub, which give you an option to control literally everything inside the case, quite easy and straightforward. Everything is on pegs, clicks, magnets, so you don't have to worry about screws, because those thumb screws are even factory nicely sealed, but you can untie them with your thumb, and that's quite easy. And the only thing that you have to do when we're talking about tying up with the screwdriver are the main component, well, basically all components. You can't avoid that. Now, let's go forward. The thermals and everything all together, you can expect that it might be, I don't know. I mean, I was quite curious. So you have top tempered glass, you have front tempered glass. But the orientation of the fans is completely different. And this is what I got. So AIDA 64 Extreme Edition, we're having AMD Ryzen 9 7900 X3D. We have RTX 4080 Super Gaming X Slim, and with the CPU 89 degrees, clock speed 4750 megahertz, and GPU 68 degrees. So when you take into consideration some other cases that I reviewed recently, which this GPU went up to 71, 72, in this case it goes up to 68, so that's outstanding. And then Cinebench R23, 85.4 degrees, 4948 megahertz clock speed, which is somewhat an average, and we take the Cinebench score with 26,458. In general, the thermals are great, the performance is great when we're talking about these components, and you can see how it goes in all the graphs. I would say somewhere, okay, there are some thermals that regarding this configuration, and the Poseidon Ultra 360, it goes to the almost last position, but in general the performance is there, and it keeps it quite nice. Now, the one thing that I really do have to mention is when we go and check out the whole visual aspect, it's insane, right? It looks brilliant. The top front tempered glass, quite different visuals, possibility to rotate it anywhere on the table. And then we have those stickers on the fans. Now, in some scenarios, I wouldn't mind, but when we have those reverse fans and everything all together, of course, you do have to take into consideration the reverse fans have lower performance than the regular fans. But then again, we have reverse fans on these ones So basically, what you can do is, since they are an exhaust here and those ones are an intake, why not just swap them up? You won't see the stickers because this right here is perforated steel panel and the stickers aren't visible. So I would definitely place these fans on the front as an intake because they are already reversed, and those as an exhaust. This way you will remove the sticker from the visibility from the inner part, which is visible, and this part that isn't visible won't be visible because the sticker will be here. And then you have flawless design of the interior part of the Cougar OmnyX, and that is simply brilliant. But then again, they went with this design, so yeah, I'm gonna stick and just leave it as it is. In general, I'm loving the case first and foremost because it's quite easy to take it apart. You saw how it's easy to adjust the I/O panel. It's easy to remove all the plates, and the performance is there. It's really great. Possibility to rotate the GPU in this vertical position than to the regular position. Well, basically this is regular position when we discuss the regular position of the case and the orientation of the motherboard. You can go with vertical position if we flip it on the other side, and 360 here on the side or on the top, depending how you look at it. And in general, it's quite interesting case, quite loads of possibilities. Cable management is insane because you can hide the cables depending which side is facing the wall. So you can rotate and push the cables to that side. You have three possibilities without any single problem. The cables are really easy to manage because you have those grills at the back, and that's it. Quite nice case. Something completely different. Without a doubt, something completely different, and I'm really digging this one. PC Crazy approved badge. Just because it's a completely different chassis that we've seen in last, I don't know, 1 or 2 years or something like that. So yeah, guys, that's it. Cougar OmnyX. The links are in the description. It comes in black and white, so you can choose your perfect color scheme for your setup. And that'll be all for today, guys. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, click the notification bell, and well, basically, I'll see you quite shortly in a new one. Thanks. Bye bye.